What's up, guys? Today we'll be doing the full review on the Note 8 Pro, and this phone has been impressive, and I actually think it's one of the best budget smartphones that you can get in this late 2019 going into 2020. I mean, it's been extremely impressive. I can't wait to compare it to the Bolt M1 when I get it back. That phone I actually have as my phone of the year, but this one, as a $200 budget smartphone, it checks off pretty much all the boxes that you could really want, and it's just very, very impressive. All right, so let's start with the hardware. So one of the things that made this phone special is the premium design on here, and also the premium materials, glass and metal, and it's just a really nice phone to hold. A lot of people were asking me, was this phone heavy? When you first get it, yeah, it is a little bit heavy. It's kind of like, it's noticeable that it's heavier phone, but once you've been playing with it for after a week or so, it's definitely, it feels like a normal phone. You get used to the weight. You have a quad camera setup on the back. You also have this little pearl white color right here, which does not attract fingerprints. Now, on the black version, other colors, you're going to get that. On this side, you have your power button and volume rockers. And down below, we have the headphone jack still, which is awesome. USB Type-C, and the single firing speaker. So we're going to start this review off backwards, talking about the camera. Usually we do the display first, but the cameras are the most impressive thing on this phone. Very, very nice, very, very crisp and clear camera. So that quad camera setup, 64 megapixel wide, 8 megapixel ultra wide. You have a 2 megapixel dedicated macro camera, which is really fun. You get to have some really nice close-up shots, and you also have a 2 megapixel depth sensor. It shoots in 2160p, and for the front-facing camera, we have a 20 megapixel wide that shoots in 1080p. Now, as you can see from the photo quality here, the image quality will blow you away, especially when you zoom into photos. How much detail it's able to keep. It's just really impressive. You really have to see it for yourself. And I've just been loving taking pictures with this guy. No matter what the lighting condition is, does a pretty solid job, especially outside. You get to see the color shine on this guy. Color accuracy is pretty good as well. And yeah, it's just the detail on here is amazing. It's just very, very impressive. Even in low light, lower light settings, you still get a really nice shot. Now for the front facing camera, it was a little bit soft, but still took a pretty decent photo. Now as far as video goes, the video was not as good as the photos. It was lacking in a lot of detail, and the color kind of went away, so it wasn't as good, but it's decent for getting a little decent video. But the macro camera is a lot of fun, so if you want to zoom in on text or on a object to be able to see it better, then you can do that with this phone as well. It gets up very, very close. Another thing that's going to stand out is the IPS display. It is a 6.53 inch, which a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I wish it was an AMOLED display, but this is a very nice display. It's very color accurate, and it's very bright, and it gives off some nice vibrant colors. No, it's not an AMOLED display. It does not have the always on function. Now you have these really nice bezels on the side here. They're not super big, so very slim, very modern look on the front. Little water drop notch, of course, and it's 1080p 395 for the PPI, and like I said, it's a very nice and vibrant display. Now, as most of y'all know, you guys know, I'll take a full screen display over a notch any day. But when it's a water drop notch, this is one of the best implementations of the notch. It's not too intrusive, and it's really small, unlike something like the G7 kind of has like a bigger notch. As you can see, it's kind of more intrusive, or something like the iPhone, which has the biggest notch out of all phones. And this one is small and it's not that intrusive. Now, I'm not going to hype the speakers up on here. It's okay. It's enough to watch a movie or to listen to music out loud. It has a nice thump, as you can hear, but it just doesn't have that fuller sound like the G7. That's a single firing speaker, so it's a decent sound, definitely okay. So let's go ahead and keep running down the specs. So you do have Android 9 on top of MIUI 11. This will of course get Android 10. And you also have the MediaTek Helio G90T processor along with the Mali G76. So basically this is kind of basically a high-end gaming phone. Check out my gaming video. I will link it down below. You will be able to play PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty Mobile, all on high settings. So how impressive is that? You can play everything on high for $200. That is extremely impressive. You also have 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, and you also have micro SD support up to 256 gigs. So from my experience, this phone has not slowed down. I've been waiting for it to lag. It has not lagged yet. I don't see animation stutters or anything like that. So if you're worried about that, don't be. MIUI is very polished, and it works really, really great. Now, as far as the OS goes, I'm not going to run through everything because I already did that. Be sure to check the MIUI 11 walkthrough. But all the stuff you need to know, like I'll show you the important stuff. Like we go into display, we have dark mode on here. We can hide the notch. Full screen mode, we can choose which applications go full screen. And then we have a lot of customizations with this OS. And there's one thing I wanted to show you guys is the gestures on here. So you do have those gestures on here, and the gestures, like I said, they're not the smoothest, but they're not glitchy, as you can see. Like sometimes you get like a little animation stutter, but sometimes it won't do it, Now, I used the gestures for a while and didn't have a problem. I just prefer the buttons, but you can get a little animation stutter, so hopefully that can be fixed. But overall, if you want to use gestures, it'll be perfectly fine. You've also got buttons for your shortcuts, so you have a whole bunch of little things you can do, gestures you can do, like double press the power button for the torch and stuff like that. So I went over all this stuff in the walkthrough, so be sure to check that out. One-handed mode, you have all that stuff on here. And yeah, so like I said, it's very customizable. Now, you don't have a built-in fingerprint scanner in the display. You have the old school one, and from my experience, you can smudge this bottom camera right here with the fingerprint scanner being so close to it, but once you get used to actually like knowing where it is, you won't smudge it. But if you have kind of like big fingers, I guess it's easy to smudge it. So do know that you're going to be wiping the camera down a lot. This phone also has Bluetooth 5.0, it has NFC, and it has an infrared port, so you can use this as a remote control to your TV if you want to do that. Now let's talk battery life. So you do have a 4,500 milliamp battery with 18 watt fast charging. We did a battery drain test on the channel, and it did around, I think, 7 hours and 30 minutes, which is pretty good because I just pretty much played games back to back to back. So if you're a heavy gamer, you can do 7 hours of gaming on here straight, and you'll be fine. Now if you're a light user, you could probably squeeze around 8 to 8 hours and 30 minutes, so an extra hour out of here, no problem. So that's really awesome. So for battery life, this will last you a great deal. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is the best budget phone of 2019 going into 2020? What do you guys think? Let me know. Is there something out that's better than this? Let me know. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.